My day is so from a haircut, so excuse how bad it is up here. But I had to make this tribute to the late Barry Owens. Barry Owens was my principal first at Bellevue Junior High, and then when I went to Central in the 10th grade in '81, I think Miss Leffler was supposed to be our principal. And something came up some kind of way, and here he was, our principal again. I can't say that every moment with Mr. Owens was one that I loved. He stayed on us. He ran Central High School like a military unit. And it probably was what was needed. Discipline was definitely needed. One of the things that I can definitely point out about Central, it'll probably never happen in the school system again. We had people from every rung of the economic ladder. We had people who were coming from Lamar Terrace who were assigned there. We had optional students that came from all over the city. And then we had some well-heeled Central Gardens families who, some of them, some of them went to Great St. Luke's and some other schools of note. They had all the money in the world to send their kids to the best private school then. But believe it or not, the best private schools would have been a step down from Central during Barry Owens' day. Central was a great, incredible melting pot. Now, Mr. Owens was a white principal, had a whole lot of black students, because I say right then we were probably 45% black. I'll just go out and say maybe 46% black. And I'm going to say a strong 43% white. And I'm just going to leave the other for other. Truly a melting pot. But I promise you, if you are a black student and your identical twin came to Central to a game or to a sporting event and was somewhere that Mr. Owens didn't recognize it, and he would say, "Son, you don't go to school here." "Oh no, Mr. Owens, I've been here." "No, son, you don't go to school here." I promise you, Barry Owens knew everybody. He knew who belonged and who didn't belong. And he was Joe Clark in a white face before the movie Lean on Me ever came out. I used to do things that were cute. Sometimes when you're bored in class, you do cute stuff. And, found some friends that did some cute stuff too. I hate to even drag their name in, but I think there was one time, I don't know what did it, but he called myself, a guy whose last name is McHugh, and a guy whose last name is Bartlett. I won't identify them to put them in the hue. And he told each of us, I was the lone black amongst the three, but he said any problem that happened at Central High School for the rest of the year, he was going to come looking for one of us three. But we were basically, it was a great school, one of the greatest schools that you've ever. Actually at Central, I think my 10th grade English class was harder than my 1101 at Memphis State. So he ran a tight ship. And I think for the most part, did a great job. He believed in his students and kids. I think his star was very hot during the 80s. And I'm almost certain, I don't know what happened, but I think he was set to move up in the school system. I think he had that, but I think his heart was as an educator. So he retired from Central went to teach in DeSoto County schools, retired to that, retired military man. The last time I ran into him in a clothing store, he told me, he said, Steve, he said, I have my Memphis City School retirement. He said, I have a couple other retirements. He said, I'm enjoying life and life is good. But there were so many times, I got to tell you this whole thing. We had these social clubs, nice kids, good grades, but we want to have our little paraphernalia on and everything. And he was totally against the paraphernalia most of the time, because some of the fights tending with social clubs probably was 15 years later, you called them a gang. And Mr. Owens was just against it. If I had $1 for every time that Barry Owens, as a principal with no gun in his hand, defended one of his students, I'd probably be rich. So I have to salute the man. He never shirked. He never ran. If one of his students was involved, he was going to protect that students. So for all you Central High, the Commercial Appeal described Central High School once in an article, Central High School in the 80s, as a bastion of middle class excellence. And, a whole lot of our friends that were white that went to school at Central, that stayed somewhere in the Overton area or Midtown area or Central Gardens, their parents had all the money in the world, but they still sent them to Central High School. All of that is because Central was exceptionally disciplined because of the late Barry Owens, and Barry Owens kept a ton of great teachers. Every teacher in Barry Owens might not have hit it off, so I don't want to hear the counterpunch, but I'm just saying overall his contributions were considerable, and I salute that God brought the late Barry Owens across my path. I just pray for his wife, met her a time of two, pray for his family, but he did an excellent job. He was Joe Clark in a white face. God bless the sacred memory of the late Barry Owens. Have a great one.